We'll start with questions.
Right here for Amadeus, obviously spent a lot of time the last week or so recruiting. When you have a game like this, a New Year's Six game, what does it do for the momentum of the program? Just the second year in, but are you feeling it out there on the recruiting trail? What does it mean overall for this program to do it this quickly?
No, it has a tremendous effect on our recruiting. Being on the road the past couple of weeks, I've been all over the country, and everyone's talking about Michigan State, the high school coaches, the players, the high school players, everyone involved in recruiting. They've taken note and really are excited about what we're doing, because they know me, they know the history of Michigan State, and they feel like this is a place where they can send players, and they like what we're doing. So it has a tremendous effect. And to go to a New Year's Six Bowl, go 10-2 is big. I mean, there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of teams out here playing ball. When it winds down to these precious bowl games, to be a part of it means that you've done something significant.
Hey Mel, what's it like balancing the two things right now when you get guys have a little time off, you guys are busy recruiting, and then you're actually still trying to ramp back up to practice, with them also taking finals and just kind of everything that's going on, and what's the outlook when you guys really start focusing on the game?
Yeah, well, really the past couple of weeks, the players have just been staying in shape with the strength and conditioning coaches, lifting and running. We'll start practice tomorrow, and we've been on the road for 2 weeks straight, and have hosted some players, some recruits on the weekends, and so we'll dig into the game planning heavy this week. I know we did the assistant coaches did a lot this weekend, and so we'll really dig in heavy, today and tonight and throughout the week. So. We'll balance it as a staff. The players, they're used to it. They're used to balancing, academics and athletics, and we'll have a good plan for them. They know we have a process. We'll be efficient and effective in our preparation, and we'll be ready.
Mel, obviously the other part of this is navigating the portal again. How are you managing to do that on top of all this other stuff? Is there anything different about going after portal guys at this point in the year?
Well, yeah, it's a lot different this go around because we're actually able to visit with them face to face. They can come on visits. We can go see them. We just know a lot more about them, and we know a lot more about our team. So we know what our needs are, where we have immediate needs, where we need more depth, where we can afford to develop some guys, but also where we need some guys to come in and play right now and start. So, it's a little different dynamic, but we're built in our personnel department to recruit from high school rates and also from the portal, and we've been through it before. So it's just a matter of making sure that we just don't collect players, but we're building a team. There's a lot of players that want to come here. Right now, we only have so many spots, and we have to be very judicious in who we add to the mix, because we have to make sure that our roster is balanced and that we have enough players, enough difference makers at each position.
Mel, sort of staying with the portal situation there. After the success of last year in the portal and sort of being known for that success, and obviously Kenneth Walker's season that he had, is the response you get from players that are in the portal or them reaching out to you, has there been an effect based on the success of last year?
Well, they see what we've done with portal guys in the past. So, it makes a lot of sense to them that they come to Michigan State, they're going to get a fair shake. We play the best players. We don't show favoritism. It doesn't matter if you're recruited by the previous staff or if you're recruited by us or your high school guy or your portal guy. We're going to play the best guys. And they know that we have a plan, we have a process, we have a culture. We don't have sharp elbows in our locker room. So, anyone that we add to our team is going to be welcome in the locker room with the players, and that's big. So it's that's kind of the way things have been going. We'll just see what happens on signing day, and as these guys continue to join the team all the way into June.
Matt, right here. With this extra time, just how do you typically handle bowl prep? I mean, are there any like sort of secondary goals or objectives you can get to? Obviously, preparing for Pitt is number one, but whether it's young guys or just guys you haven't gotten to look at, things like that, is there anything else that this time affords that obviously a week-to-week regular season deal doesn't?
Yeah, we'll have roughly 12 practices. The priority is to prepare Pitt and make sure that we have our game plans in, offense, defense, and special teams. We have to make sure that our players are prepared, but they're also fresh and ready to go for the game. So we have to be smart about how much hitting we do, and how much contact throughout this time. We're making sure they are ready to go and they're sharp. But then there's also going to be opportunities to give some more reps to some younger players. It's not like spring ball, but you do have more time to develop players, especially young players. Some guys who maybe haven't played as much, they may show up in this game. So we'll see how it goes. Now that we're off to real recruiting, we can dedicate all of our time here to preparation for the game.
I want to get your reaction. Obviously, Kenneth won plenty of awards, but he wasn't one of the Heisman finalists. I was wondering what your reaction to that was, and also, I know we've asked you, we'll probably keep asking because it changes quickly, but is he still intending to play in this bowl game?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from any of the healthy guys yet in terms of they're not going to play. That could change as we go. We'll have to see about the health of all of our guys and things like that. But what was the first part of your question?
Just him not being a finalist for Heisman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really about controlling what you can control, and we really focus on on some of the achievements that he did have. And he got the award that he did earn. And I told him a few days ago, we had a nice conversation. I said, listen, the awards, the ones you win, the ones you don't win, they don't define you as a person or as a player. Just keep that in mind. We appreciate you. You worked really hard to get, to get what you have, to get where you are today. And just because you did or didn't win an award, that doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change what you've done. So he's a very humble, hardworking guy. He's very, very competitive. I personally wanted to see him, invited to New York for that, but it didn't happen. But it really doesn't take away from who he is as a person, who he is as a player. I think everyone knows that what type of player he is. I mean, from the first play of the season all the way to the last game of the year in the snow, and playing through adversity and working through injuries and things like that, he always gave us everything he had. And he's a tremendous, tremendous player. He's a difference maker, and you can see that reflected in the awards that he did receive.
Well, a couple of things here. I know you don't discuss injuries, but you were pretty beaten up late in the year. Even the Penn State game, which you won, you had a lot of players banged up. Do you expect this time off to give you a healthier roster than you last took the field?
Yeah, I would hope so. We've got some time to heal up, and so there's some guys that we anticipate getting back. There's some guys that they're out for the year. We're not going to get those guys back into spring ball, hopefully. But we will be stronger and have more depth going into the game. I anticipate that.
Just to follow up to Matt's question, you said you haven't heard from anyone. Do you have to do any kind of sell job with somebody like Kenneth? Are you counting on him playing in the game?
No, I'm not doing any types of sales jobs on guys. That's if guys feel like they want to play, then they're going to play. If it's in their best interest to play, they'll play. If it's not in their best interest to play, then I'm going to support them. And that's how I've approached it, over the years with guys. We have to go through the practices and see, injuries are going to be a big part of it, just the health of guys. And we're going to get as many guys ready to play as we possibly can. Our guys are very good about communicating with me in terms of, what they want to do, how they feel about certain things. And so, as we go through this process, I'll have a clear picture of who's going to play, who's going to be available to play.
And you have a good feeling that Kenneth is gonna play this game, or don't you know yet?
Yeah, I'm uncertain, about him. I know he's been battling through some things, and so, we'll just have to continue to monitor. But, he's not the only one. I mean, it's a fluid situation. We're gonna get as many guys prepared and ready to go as we possibly can.
Hey, Mel, in front here. I was wondering with Travaris taking the job at Georgia Tech, how you view filling that opening and whether you intend to do, I guess, structure it how you had it before with Harlan overseeing the secondary and cornerbacks coach, or if you're open to maybe shuffling.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my time with it. I don't have a rush. We have a really good idea of what we want to do, and we're gonna have flexibility. We're gonna get the best person who's the best fit for coaching and also for recruiting.
We talked about Kenneth, but you obviously got a Big Ten Coach of the Year award as well. What does that mean to you? And is there a benefit to that in recruiting?
Well, for me, it's really a team award, and that may sound cliche, but I'm not a one-man show here. So I have a great staff, the team coaches, all the analysts, the GAs, all the support staff. We've talked about it all season. Our entire organization, and everyone has a role, and everyone's important. And so, me getting an award like Big Ten Coach of the Year is just a reflection of all the hard work that we all have done for our team. That's really what it means to me now. When we go out into on the recruiting trail and things like that, or when I'm with alums, it's a topic of discussion. They congratulate me and say, "Hey, that's a heck of a job. It's a great honor. A lot of great coaches in that conference." And so, the recognition, it only helps. People are taking note of what we're doing here in East Lansing. It's a good thing. And it's not me, the focus, but it's more our program, our university, the visibility of what we're doing, how we're going about doing it. It's exciting. People see the vision, they see the growth. They're really taking notice that there's, the tide is turning and we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I was curious how you approach high school versus the portal. And when you're looking at high school kids, is it much more about projection, and the portal kids much more about can they step in and produce?
Yeah, everything's a projection. Even in the National Football League, there was 3 different organizations, 10 drafts and free agency periods, and when we looked at the draft, we looked at it as a 3-year projection with most of the teams I was with. And it was, you evaluate guys on, how soon do you think they'll be able to produce at the level where you drafted them. So sometimes you draft guys to be starters. And is he going to be a day 1 starter, or will he be better than the person in front of him, for a quarter of the year or halfway through the year, or is he going to be you think he's going to be a starter, in year 2? And then you evaluate everything and you prepare him, in that way. Sometimes you draft guys to be backups. Everyone's not drafted to be a starter. And so, can he step in right away and be a backup, or is it going to take a year or so? And then what is he going to do on special teams? What's going to be the impact? Same thing in recruiting the high school players. Is he going to be able to step in and play right away? Is he going to be more of like a second-year starter? And you project that. You don't really know until you get them here. And it's the same thing with the portal. It's the same thing with the portal guys.
Is there a position group that's easier or harder to project?
Well, that's a great question. Offensive and defensive linemen, especially the O-linemen, the big guys, you have to really do a great job of projecting, because you're not exactly sure what they're going to become, because they're so big. And so you really have to, a lot of times we redshirted a lot of young linemen this year. And, you're bringing a guy that's 6'4.5", and next thing you know, he's 6'6". we bring in a guy that's, maybe he's got a lot of body fat and his body composition is not exactly what it needs to be, what you can project from his frame and things like that. You say, this guy's going to be able to do this. Next thing you know, he's turned, he may go from 20% body fat to 11%, in a year's time. He's a totally different looking guy. So the big guys are a little bit harder to project. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You go on athleticism and how they move and things like that, and then you can do a projection. Defensive backs, especially corners, is another position that's a little bit more difficult. A lot of times the best corners aren't actually playing corner in high school. And sometimes the guys are the best corners are actually playing safety, because in high school the coaches put the players in a position where they can make the most plays. And if you have a guy who's only playing corner, you got to watch tons and tons of tape to see them get really any action, because a corner can be in a game 60 plays and he can only be at the point of attack 4 or 5 times in high school. So just to give you a little insight on that.
Mel, right here in the middle. You touched on it briefly after Penn State, but with the contract extension, what does it kind of mean to you to be the highest paid African American coach in sports? And did you kind of expect that trajectory for your career?
Yeah, well, I hadn't really thought about it that much. We've been on the road recruiting. We played on Saturday and Sunday. We've been on the road every day, and then on the weekends we come back. And I think it means more about where Michigan State's going as a program, and the support that we have and the commitment that we're making to having a great program and excellence on and off the field. Is really, at this point, as I think about it, it means more about that than just me.
Mel, you refer to the 2021 class as your Zoom babies. Just wondering how that group is coming along.
The Zoom babies, yeah, they're coming along nicely. I mean, it's funny because it's exactly what we told them it would be when we recruited them and they got here. I think that's the reason why they're having success, and it's working out, because we didn't overpromise. We told them exactly what it's going to be, what we're going to expect, this type of locker room that we have. Come in, be ready to play right away, or whatever. And I mean, they're coming along. They're coming along nicely. I mean, I don't have any complaints. There's always a constant evaluation, and you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out once they get here. But for the most part, I was pleased with the way they came in and what they did for this particular team. We have to continue to raise the bar in recruiting, and we're doing that. And we have to do a great job developing the players that are in the program.
Mel, Gary brought up all of the talented guys that could potentially play in this bowl game. And so Kenny Pickett, though, also being undecided, would it not diminish the allure of the game, but would it be a disappointment if a lot of talented guys did not play?
Well, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. As a coach, we have to prepare for them to be at full strength and all their guys play until we know anything differently. And then as things go, sometimes we may find it on game day. That's not going to diminish the excitement and the intensity and the importance of the game, in my opinion. Because when that first time that ball turns over, all that goes out the window. And we're keeping score. It's a binary deal. You get a 1 or a 0. So it's game on from there.
Mel, in front here. Do you expect all the guys you have committed to your 2022 class to sign on Wednesday, and do you think you're going to get to that number 25?
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to get to the number at some point. If we don't get to it this month, we'll get to it in February. So we'll see. Guys have been committed. Of course, you expect those guys to sign, but you never know. You never know until you actually get the paperwork back. And so we'll see. Doesn't surprise me anymore in football, especially in recruiting. We feel really good about the guys we have committed.
Mel, I understand we're going to hear from you again Wednesday on recruiting, but
You're going to hear from me again?
I believe so.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Sure about that.
At any rate, we can get into this more, but the Michigan State football brand has changed pretty dramatically over the last 3 months. Are you feeling on the road that momentum with Michigan State being much more visible than it's been here in recent past?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the players, they have short memories, so they may be focused a little bit about what a team did last year or the year before, but they're really looking at who's doing what right now, and then kind of projecting that team into the future. And so everyone sees that we have momentum and that we have a bright future. In terms of like the high school coaches and some of the players that we were recruiting before the season, we had quite a few commitments before the season started. There's really no surprise. I mean, I think that we've been able to recruit well even before the season started because people know, they know our staff, they know what we're all about, they know that we're a get it done staff, we're going to figure it out. They know we've been recruiting hard, so it's not really a surprise to a lot of the football people at the other schools that we're recruiting against, and also the high school coaches and things like that. They knew that at some point we were going to get it going, and but yeah, we're in the mix in this class with some big time players, and they all of these players want to play on a huge stage. They want to play in front of a packed stadium. They want to be on national TV. They want to get recognition. A lot of the players that we've recruited have come to see us play at home. They've been very, very impressed with our fans, our student section, our band, the whole atmosphere, the Sparty. I mean, everything. They're just in awe of what they're seeing, and we're able to attract some folks to take a look. We've been able to attract some folks to take a look, and what almost all of them say that are not from the state is that it's way, way, way better than we thought it was going to be. They come here, they see us, they come on a visit, they come to a game, and they actually think, they actually say that is this too good to be true? Like, what's the catch? Like, what's the catch? Is this how it is every day? I mean, is this what you guys do? There's got to be something wrong. Like, no, there's nothing wrong. This is just what we're doing, and this is how we go about it, and it's real. And so we're able, because of the success that we've had on the field, we're able to maybe get some folks to take a look to consider us that maybe haven't in the past, and they like what they see once they really take a look behind the curtain.
All right. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Yeah, thank you so much. Go Green.
We'll have lunch here.